Francisco Lindor. If I offended you, I'm sorry. If I offended you, I'm sorry. And now, the story kind of comes to an end until tonight's game at 7 o'clock or just after 7 o'clock when Javi Baez actually plays because he didn't play in the early game today, which is the continuation of a game back from April. But the apologies have been issued. Now what do you want? Good afternoon, Evan. How are you today, kid?
Well, I'll tell you what I want.
All right, sir.
Now, this could just be me, and if it's just me, then it's just me. Francisco Lindor is very, very sensitive. And there's always that moment where you wonder if a guy can handle New York, and we speculate. Can this guy handle New York? Francisco Lindor has confirmed to me, and maybe to a lot of Met fans, he can't handle this town. And I'm not sure if it's ever going to change.
Yet.
I'll tell you. I'll give you evidence. So Francisco Lindor also did the apology.
Yes.
Which I got to tell you, as a Met fan, I'm fine. I accepted it. It is what it is.
So you're good moving on.
No, I'm not moving on. I'm going to move on to the next part of this.
Hold on. Accept the apology, but I'm not moving on.
No. I've accepted the apology for the thumbs down.
Got it.
That's fine.
Okay.
But he went on to say, look, I don't like being booed. Again, I get it. He doesn't like being booed.
Who does?
Totally understand that. Now, he didn't go that extra mile of, but I know it's a part of New York, and I've just got to perform better. He didn't kind of give you that. Francisco Lindor came up to the plate with a runner on second and nobody out in the first inning, and he did something at the plate to me that is confirmed he can't handle this town.
He laid down a bunt.
He's afraid. He's afraid of being booed. It hurts his feelings, and I'm not convinced it's ever going to change with this guy. I think he's afraid of this town. I think he's afraid of you and I. Ooh, we may boo him. And I am deeply, deeply concerned that the next 10 years will be a hellscape of this guy trying to play in this town.
Hellscape.
And I'm sorry, if you want to tell me you're over-exaggerating on a bunt, I don't think I am. There's a runner on second and nobody out. And you know what you have a chance to do? Because here's what you would have said after the apology. It's the same thing I would have said. Okay, now hit. That's what you would have said, right?
I mean, listen, I compartmentalize those two things, but the easiest way to turn those frowns upside down is to perform.
I completely agree with you. Do you think laying down a I'm scared of the moment sacrifice bunt is really the way to do it, Craig?
And by the way, I was watching the game with you. There was a smattering of both. There were some people that clapped. There were those that booed. I'm not sure if they were booing the overall crap over the last 24 hours or if they were booing the laying down of the bunt.
Dude, you're paid $300 million to be a superstar, not be a guy laying down sack bunts in the first inning against the Marlins. It was pathetic, but more than just the moment of this game, which is irrelevant, because I think this game in the long run will be irrelevant. They're not making the playoffs, not getting any kind of race. I think that moment showed you, at least it showed me, that this is one of those guys that we always hear about who can't handle this town. Well, it's not going to change.
You can only judge him to date. We don't know what he's going to do in the future. So I agree with you. To date, I think it's a bit premature to say that over the next decade, which is what he signed for, that Francisco Lindor is not going to perform well on the big stage.
Do you think he's afraid of the moment?
No, he probably isn't. I don't.
Why the hell is he laying down a sacrifice bunt in the first inning of a game against the Marlins?
That, based on analytics, think it's a good move.
There's no analytics that say it's a good idea. I reject
Keith Hernandez
that.
said it was.
Well, he's wrong. I have great respect for Keith Hernandez. There's no piece of analytics. He said that's what
they used to do when he played for the Cardinals. Lou Brock would get on base. He'd steal second.
That's not analytics, dude.
He'd get bunted over to third, and you'd drive him in with a ground ball.
That's 40 years ago. That's not today's baseball.
That's what Keith said.
I agree. You used the wrong term. Then you should have just said that was old school. It's what they did in the 80s. That's fine. That's not what we do in 2021.
Well, why not?
Because it's stupid to give up outs, especially when the guy giving up the out is supposed to be your best hitter. And look, it's not about...
Well, that part of it I agree with you on. If the guy's supposed to be a 300-plus hitter, and that's the guy you signed to a 10-year deal, why would you give up your bat?
Craig.
I agree with you on that.
Craig, it's a problem. It's a major problem. And to me, it was it was symbolism of the fact that I am not convinced this guy's ever going to handle New York well.
I think you're being a little sensitive.
Am I?
A little dramatic.
Am I?
A little over-dramatic.
Look, you know what? I'll give you credit.
You just took the last 24 hours in which he, along with Baez, become, public enemy number one for New York Met fans, and parlay that into, I don't like the fact that he bunted.
No.
Therefore, he can't handle New York.
I want to explain that better.
That's a huge leap.
So, Francisco Lindor and Javier Baez apologized. There are going to be Met fans who say, I don't accept the apology.
For sure
it wasn't genuine.
Right.
And that's fine. there are going to be some Met fans like myself who say, okay, fine. They apologize. Let's move on. Now go perform, right?
Yep.
So I'm in the camp of, I accept the apology. Let's move on and go perform. I then witnessed Francisco Lindor when he very easily could have come up in the first inning, hit a 2-run home run, crowd goes nuts. All right, the page has been turned.
Sure.
And he said, nah, I'd rather not get booed. I'm going to lay down a
He's
bunt.
bunted before you've commented on it.
Yeah, and it's
not the
then,
first time he's
and
ever
it
bunted.
stinks now.
All right. So you don't think, based on today's bunt, in conjunction with everything else you've seen from him, he now can't handle New York?
I want to acknowledge.
That's a bit of a leap.
Craig, I want to acknowledge that my opinion, which is truly how I feel.
Yes.
I don't make this
I don't
stuff
think
up.
you're inventing it. It's emotional, though.
You were with me when he laid down the bunt. You saw
Yes.
my reaction. I understand that for you and anyone listening can say, come on, Evan. You're out of line. You're being emotional. You're jumping to conclusions. I'm just telling you, on August 31st, 2021, it hit me. This was the moment that spoke to me and said, Evan, this guy can't play here.
Wow.
And so we all have these
Year
different
one
moments.
of a 10-year contract, and this guy can't play here.
Dude, there were plenty of Met fans who felt that way about various Mets over the years.
Sure
there was
there
a
were.
moment where they said, wow, Bobby Bonilla can't play here. Wow, George Foster can't play here. Wow, Carlos Beltran can't play here. Yankee fans, you too. Ed Whitson can't play here. It happens. A.J. Burnett can't play here. It happens. This was my moment. It just so happened to occur a little bit before we signed on the air.
All right.
This was the moment.
Well,
I think this guy is afraid of you and me. He's afraid of being booed. It hurts my feelings. This is what we are. This is who we are. And you got to get over it. You got to deal with it. Because as soon as you start hitting, not laying down weak sacrifice bunts in the first inning, no one will boo you. They'll cheer you. You'll perform. And I want to be wrong, Craig, but write it down. August 31st, 2021, this guy can't play here.
Here's what I'm going to write down
Guy
for
can't
August
play here.
31st.
Guy
I'm
can't play
going
here.
to write down the following.
Made a big mistake.
Evan overreacted.
Okay.
Evan got very emotional.
Okay.
And Evan took a lot of things for Liberty out of context. Okay.
I took
fine.
what out of context?
You're melding things
What
to
am I
fit the
melding in?
narrative you want,
No,
which
I'm
is
not.
that 6 months into his Met career, he's dead here.
I don't think he can play
The guy
here.
went to Arthur Ashe Stadium yesterday at the height of the problem.
You're missing it.
And signed autographs.
I don't
He's
think
got no
he
problem
can-
with New York.
I don't think he can perform here. Keith Hernandez also said on the broadcast there are some guys that can't play
That's
here.
true. That
And
is
you would
true.
agree with that statement. There
Yeah,
are
of course.
guys that
In
can't
every
play
sport,
here.
we witnessed it, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I happen to believe, my opinion, okay, the way I feel today
Yeah.
is I think this city is going to continue to eat him up.
We're gonna find
I don't
out.
think he can deal with it. And he basically said it in so many words with, I don't like being booed. It sucks.
Well,
he didn't, he didn't pivot into, but I get it. I understand it. I'm okay with it. No, it's, I hate it. It sucks. Wah.
I would
Cry
say
me
this as a
river,
guy
dude.
that's taking his share of negative insults along the way. You got one or two ways to go on that. And you better accept it, and deal with it and be able to handle it, or you can't stay here. I'll give you that. That part of it you're right on. Now, I don't know if that's who this guy is. I think we're overreacting a considerable amount.
Maybe.
But you are entitled to have your opinion.
Here's the deal.
I just wonder if other Met fans agree with you, if they feel the same way. Now, there's two aspects to this. The first is, do you accept the apology? Are you good with Baez Lindor apologizing? Are you over it? Are you ready to move on? Or do you say, F that, I'm not accepting it? That's part of this. The other part is, where Evan's at, because Evan has accepted the apology, is, okay, I accepted the apology. It's now on his resume as a New York Met. But having seen him bunt in the first inning, it's now, I've had my epiphany. Francisco Lindor is not made for New York.
Well, but Craig, you are made for New York, right?
Yes, I am.
You just had an embarrassing moment which you had to apologize to fans, right? And the only way to really fix this is to perform at a high level. You now come up 45 minutes later. 45 minutes later, you're at the plate. The crowd gives you mixed reaction.
And there's nobody there today.
Nobody there. But boy, I hit one off the apple right now. Oh, that's going to feel good.
Yeah, I think so.
And would you lay down a bunt?
Me personally, I'm swinging for the apple,
You're
man.
damn right you are.
But I'm always swinging for the apple. I'm also a head first slide at the third type of cat. That's just me.
Yeah.
So I'd rather hit the gapper and make a double, a triple, and stand up with the dirt on my chest, rubbing off, going, "How you like me now,
Craig?"
Oh, that hurt my back. Oh, that hurt my back.
I am a bunter, right? I would lay down a bunt, but
you
in that
come from
situation,
a family of bunters.
do I? Yes.
Evan's great-grandfather, a bunter.
That's right.
Yes.
I loved Brett Butler as a kid. Great bunter.
bunter.
But you know what I would have done in that spot? I wouldn't be bunting.
Swing away, baby.
And
Because you
look,
got man on second, nobody out. You're, in theory, the best hitter on the
Craig,
team. Swing the bat.
Craig, I fully acknowledge, first of all, I am and you're not. Neither of us are going to be proven right or wrong today. This is one of those things we'll find out
we gotta
way
write
down
it
the
down
road.
and take notes on it.
I think we'll remember me saying Lindor can't handle New York and you saying, oh, you're jumping to conclusions.
Yeah, I will.
Look, it may be a jump to conclusion, but the one thing that you know sitting in your office as he laid down that bunt is that's how I truly felt. Okay?
Yeah.
That was a guy who, on the heels of saying, the booing bothers me, it hurts my feelings, then proceeded to walk away from a moment in the first inning. Now, maybe later on in this game, it's a game-winning grand slam. Will I change my view? I don't know. But right now, I look into the eyes of Francisco Lindor, and I see a guy that can't play here. And there are a lot of guys who have not been able to play here, and it's just really unfortunate that a guy who just signed a 10-year contract happens to be the latest.
Steve Cohen has responded publicly to what happened with the apologies. We'll tell you what he said on Twitter, and we'll get your take as well. Very simple. Do you accept the apologies or not? And then beyond that, are you now in the Evan camp, which is he can't play here. He's done. After 6 months, it's fine. I tell you, when the Mets implode, boy, they implode all the way. It's like an H-bomb of implosion, and I like it. I like it a lot. I like the passion, Evan. Good for you.
3 in a row.
As sensitive as you might be today.
7 games out of first place. I'm talking to you, bro.
What are you talking? Oh, why do you have to tag the Yankees?
Because
why are you tagging my team?
if I'm going down,
yeah, you're taking people with you?
you're coming with me.
I got no problem with losing 3 in a row. I'd like to know why Kluber kept pitching. That's a question I might have for Aaron tomorrow. What'd you see that made you think he was suddenly going to get anybody
Now, be
out?
honest with me.
Yes.
Did you really feel that, or are you just following me on Twitter? Which
No.
one was it?
I don't get your tweets all the time for some
I'm
reason.
busting your
But I will say this. By the time the bases got loaded, at that point, wasn't it enough? I'm just asking out loud. Just want to know.
Especially a guy that's barely pitched. I mean,
Yeah.
I assumed coming into this game,
Gave
you're
you
going to have a
3
quick
innings.
leash on him. He gave up back-to-back base hits, a deep fly ball as a sacrifice fly. Okay, now 4 batters in a row. Maybe I get him out. Then he gives up a walk. Okay, now maybe I get him out. Then the grand slam to Mayfield. Okay, then maybe I get him out. Then another base hit. And then finally the final out of the inning. Like, I would have gotten him out 4 batters earlier. Just me.
4 batters and 5 runs earlier.
Yes.
Yeah, well, we'll get into that later throughout the day as well. But Met fans are sensitive right now, and I want to be here for you. I'm a big believer in therapy now. Perhaps today will be your therapy. They apologized to you. Was that enough, darling, or do you need more? I shouldn't say darling because then you're going to think I'm talking to Ron, and I'm not. Sweetheart. I'll call you sweetheart. Was the apology enough, sweetheart, or do you want more? Oh, he bunted. Oh.
You're going to mock us no matter what we say.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
877-337-6666.